Perfect. Yeah,
Can you hear me?
whenever we're ready to go, just let me know and I'll start.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you 30 seconds. Why don't you, well, not for the entire thing, but just why don't you introduce yourselves a bit, and then we can get started.
Yeah, hey, appreciate it. So my name is Shiblord, fully doxxed, so my name is Neil. You guys could, call me either or. I have up here with me my community manager, Bran. I'm not sure how much he'll be talking just because of the little bit of window of time that we have. But we're just here to introduce Protocol X to the community that's out here and hopefully get some information out that may trigger some other questions to be answered in later times that they can ask us about.
Awesome.
Brilliant. My name is Bran, also known as Brandon, which is my actual name. Myself, I'm also Docs, and as Neil said, I'm the community manager of PTX, Protocol X, and I'll be here today to just assist Shib to let you know about PTX.
I just have to say your PFP or your profile is really cool. It's a moving. Is that like the new guru?
It's Andrew Tate. I got bored today and changed it to him.
Nice, nice, nice. All right. If you want, you can take it away, or I could ask questions.
Yeah, so I'll just start going just over just whatever I can real quick if that's cool with you. So
Hmm.
pretty much we're a rebase protocol on Binance Smart Chain on BSC, but that's just a piece of the puzzle here. So the rebase side of it is going to be somewhat, somewhat used to what people are expected to see in here, but there's some different elements to it. So myself personally, like I just mentioned, I'm fully doxxed. My entire team, I have 7 people on my team, are doxxed as well. I'm KYC through Assure with Protocol X, so that little security aspect is already there. So our pre-sale is August 10th, so a week from a few days ago there. Next Wednesday is when the pre-sale begins. Protocol will go live on the 15th. So it is a rebase protocol in nature. So that rebase token that the pre-sale is hosting will start at 1.77% per day. But this is where it differs just a little bit. So as we see with many rebase protocols, obviously inflation becomes a major issue. Token price goes down, 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 down over a period of time, and then it becomes very, very difficult to make money in that system there. So we're going to start out at that 1.77% APR per day, rebases every 30 minutes. And then that'll decrease by 10% each month over the course of 12 months to the point that it would be at that 0.5% daily APR in 12 months from the 15th of August. So next year, it'll be a 0.5% daily APR token. And when I say it decreases by 10%, that's by that 1.77%. So month 2 would be 1.593%, so on and so forth. So there's a few different things that we're going to do to sustain this kind of aspect of rebase. Primarily, we're going to be using this treasury that we have that we accumulate via the presale for outside revenue sources that'll pay for everything for development, team salaries, token burns, and growth. So this is going to be our primary kind of difference than what most others use. We partnered with a project called Ego, if anyone out there is aware of them. They developed this trading bot that's done very, very well over the last 6 months and just continues to get better. So we're going to put a substantial portion of the pre-sale allocation from the treasury into this Ego trading bot that'll allow us to start burning tokens literally from day one. So instead of just having that system
Wow.
with the taxes, we're going to be proactively working against it very, very early in combination with others, including a partnership with MDB, where we're going to utilize a liquidity pair with their token to help with our token appreciation, as well as other outside revenue sources as well. So the key is sustainability, right? So we're trying to get an actual passive income DeFi system out here, which is a little bit difficult with the rebase tokens, but I think we found a method to do it. I can keep talking forever, so if you do have questions, just simply interrupt me.
Okay, okay. I like that you clarified how the 10% decrease works. One thing I like to, so you mentioned you're just gonna use trading bots. What are your other methods of causing the burn to happen? Are they gonna be through taxes? Are they gonna be through investing in other protocols? What exactly
So
is another source of revenue stream?
I'll give Shib a little break here and I'll talk a little bit onto this. So one of our main focuses at PTX is just to clarify, not only am I the CM, we all as a team work as our overall operations. So every single member in the team has a different sort of additional job role where they work behind the scenes and we make things happen. So one of our main focuses at PTX, sorry, is sustainability. So every single day, the biggest topic is what else can we do to maintain sustainability. Now, one of the main things that we're looking to implement early on is a liquidity management system. Now, you can see many other projects use this sort of management system. However, they will partner with another protocol and use their system. However, we're going to be making ours from scratch, and we're going to be using it as a rising floor model. So instead of the chart looking like a falling knife, we'll have continuing sort of buy pressure and stability on the chart, which not only generates volume, it also generates stability for the token by increasing the burn. And yes, in our tokenomics, we have a burn. I'll let Shib touch on that in a bit after. But yeah, one of the main focuses, we're going to have a lottery system. We're also going to have X shares. And we're going to have the keys, X keys, which is something to use with our revenue share model, which is X shares. So the revenue share model within the ecosystem is, as Shib mentioned, using external sources to generate revenue, even from inside of the protocol, whether that be through our DEX or through trading bots or through algo bots. It all comes back to the investor, whether it's investing it ourselves or directly to the investor. So one thing I'll touch a little bit on is X shares. Now, X shares will be a NFT-based revenue share system, but it'll also have additional features. We'll be using things such as keys and PTX token to make them upgradable. Our X shares token will also have trading pairs and farming and staking pairs on our personal DEX, which at the start will be a secondary DEX. We don't want to initially lock all of our liquidity into our own DEX prematurely to it being able to grow. We think that's quite irresponsible and a big risk to take with investors' money, locking it into an undefined DEX without multiple revenue sources. So we'll be looking to integrate that further on down the line into our own DEX, which will be XSwap. But to stimulate the burn, we have many, many things. We've got the taxes, we've got the PTX keys or the X keys. We have the DEX that will be generating burns from the fees. We have the lottery system. We have other things we're looking to implement that we can't speak about as of now. And then we also have the external revenue, such as the ego bots, MDBs, rising floor liquidity. So there's many, many aspects we have. It's not just relying on just one. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. So you mentioned you're going to make a DEX. A lot of projects now are going to make a DEX, including us actually. What do you think will make your DEX stand out across other DEXs?
Of
Yes.
course. No, that's exactly. Yeah, Shib, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit into this one. So one thing that I'll call out, not to you guys, so please don't take that personally, but what I've seen in the space is everyone is making a DEX, right? And then all they're doing with this DEX is trying to onboard whomever, whenever, whatever that they can get on there as a revenue mechanism, right? So that they can make money from their DEX. And that's totally understandable. So one thing that I'm kind of doing here is heavily vetting anybody who utilizes our DEX. I don't want to put anything that's up there that's going to be a concern to investors, right? I can name multiple larger DEXs off the top of my head that they're like, hey, you want a pre-sale? Come on, do it right here. You want to put everything up here? And then those projects that they onboard are scams, rugs, very poor strategically, whatever the case might be. So we have a pretty heavy vetting process to get them up there, generally just for our partners, because primarily the DEX is for us to grow as a project and as a protocol. I don't want everyone else to primarily, I don't want to make my money off of other people. I want it to be ours and then bring in people that can utilize it at the same methodology and the same strategic approach to this system so that we don't have a bunch of malicious actors just generating us revenue and screwing over the other investors that try to get in on them. So that's kind of the differentiation. Hopefully I can get some announcement here later today on the different security measures and vetting process that we're going to take there via some other partnerships. That fingers crossed on this one. But we're doing quite a bit to allow us to grow and also ensure that there is at least some level of security and reliability to those who are onboarded onto our decentralized exchange.
Okay. I have another question about the decentralized exchange. So you said because you're going to have a huge vetting process, sort of limit the projects that can join. What are your guys' solutions to getting liquidity in order to make swaps happen?
So liquidity for the other protocols or for ourselves?
For the decentralized exchange, for swaps to occur, right? Let's say someone's swapping, over to AVAX and such, and they want to do $2,000. You need like more than $2,000 in the liquidity pool in order to do the proper swaps and such. Unless they're just going to be swapping from one token to the other in specific small liquidity pools.
Yeah, so ours is obviously going to be able to host farming, so you can have liquidity pools on there as well as staking, different things like that. So for our token, obviously we're going to supply the liquidity pair, which is going to be BNB, and that liquidity pool. So if you are swapping between that token, that's the LP there. Let's say insert token Y wants to come on board. Obviously, they're going to have to submit a liquidity pair into a liquidity pool. And if they want to expand it via farms and all that, they're more than welcome to. But if their pair is BNB or BUSD, that's going to be a liquidity pair in a liquidity pool that they're going to have to input into this decentralized exchange so that it can be swapped.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to add on top of that, that's why we said we're not going to go into our main focus of trying to go, hey, here's day one, here's an amazing new DEX to use, because we all know that's unrealistic. Now, I know exactly what you mean about the liquidity, and that's where we'll be garnering partnerships and using secure methods to get that liquidity, rather than just going from day one, hey, let's hope for the best, let's make this our primary DEX, let's hope people onboard and provide us liquidity, because we all know, one, that's unstable, and two, it just won't work well. Yes, you'll garner a lot of DEX fees and crypt profit. However, it'll be very unsustainable once the hype dies off, once everything dies off. So using our external revenue models, as we've explained, to garner extra liquidity, and also using farming pairs to build that also.
All right, that makes sense. So quickly, you guys have about like 30 seconds left. Is there anything you'd like to say to finish?
Yeah, so I'll just close it out real quick. So, hey, if anyone's interested in finding out more information, I know we have a pretty tight window of time here. Check out our white paper. Website should be live in the next day to 2 days, hopefully maybe 3 days at most, sometime through the weekend. Lots of good information there. Again, fully doxed team, rebase, X shares for NFT as a revenue share system, farming and staking on a DEX, buybacks with a trading bot and other mechanisms, a liquidity management service, automatic routing, and pretty decent tokenomics. So shout out to you guys. Thank you for the time up here, and hopefully you guys want to check us out a little bit more.